So I am here tonight with the incredibly talented Mr. Danny Prendergast and Mr. Simon Oakes, aka Lewis Monte Carlo, from the spectacular 80s rock outfit, 80s-esque rock outfit. They're not actually from the 80s, although maybe they are. Maybe they've got their own time machine shit going on. I don't know. Ultrabyte, anyway, recently, me and my crew did a video with you not so long, well, about 3 years ago now. It was only just come out, so it feels recent anyway. But how are you, lads? How the hell are you? Okay?
Yeah, very well. Chipper. Thank you.
Indeed. Yeah, it looks good. You've got the very sort of eerie, luminescent green lighting, the ashtray in the centre.
We've got Big Trouble in Little China playing on the cinema screen at the moment. So,
It actually, the lighting reminds me a little bit of the hotel scene, the seedy hotel scene in Big Trouble.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a good look.
It's like grime, isn't it? So, I don't know, visual grime.
Visual grime. Love it. Oh, mate. No, that is like the greatest film ever made, so, you know, it'll pass. So, right, lads, you've just released a video for the phenomenal single, Dragon Fighter Golden Champion, which is just, did I say that right?
Yes.
Good.
Well, thank you for the phenomenal bit. That's a new one. That makes me feel good.
Well, mate, I'm in it. I'm in it. You made men straight away if I'm in it. You know what I mean? It's destined for success. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'll try and keep my head back here in the light as well. Otherwise, half my face disappears if I lean forward like that. But no, so that's awesome. And that's from an album, right?
Yeah. That's an album coming up. Yeah, we've got 9 songs. 9 songs on an album coming up. Yeah, at some point. Not released anything yet. But they're all recorded and mixed and mastered and everything. We just slowly staggering the release. Yeah.
Didn't you have one of the guys who worked for Queen mastering those?
Yeah. It's called The Bakery. The Bakery, yeah. He's based in California these days, so we have to send that stuff over there. They master Led Zeppelin and do loads of stuff for the movies as well. They're really cool, you know. Like Hollywood, baby. Do you know what I mean? A little bit of. It's nice because when you get the master back, you know it's right. Simply that.
Yeah, man. That's some pretty heavy duty credentials there, man. And you know it's going to be done right. Better be done right. Jesus. So you did Led Zeppelin as well as Queen?
Yeah, all of them. Yeah. But probably, I don't know if we're allowed to, nod to them or anything. But fucking.
Yeah, I think so.
Who gives a shit?
I don't think anyone's going to be on your case about promoting them, dude, as long as they're not slagging people out. Yeah. Can't talk about people you hate quite as well. Well, you can. You state your opinion.
John, really need to. There you go. That's bad.
Mate, that's so bad.
I'm sat next to you. That was a rat. That fucking rat.
That's bad.
Let's do that again.
Oh, guys, the sound here is going a bit like a fishbowl, lads. I won't tell it.
Sorry.
And again, shout up.
It is like a fishbowl in here.
Ah, right, okay. Well, I guess we'll work with that.
I can see fish like swimming past. You know what I mean?
So listen then, Ultrabyte, and you were known as Rising Tides before that. You've been going a while now, right?
Yeah.
How long?
I think me and Danny have been writing music at least for about the last 12 years, I think. At the very least. I can't honestly remember when we started, but it's got to be over a decade.
Rising Tides actually came a bit later, sort of in the middle of that, and then after that, we've got Ultrabyte.
If it wasn't for Sign, I probably would have just been sat on my arse doing nothing. I'm not joking.
Yeah, I wouldn't stop calling round.
He just knocked on the door every 5 fucking minutes. Are we writing music? So, that's where it started. Pretty.
The Mr. Motivator.
Yeah, sometimes it really pissed me off. Wrote some
We wrote some good tunes.
I've written some good tunes. Yeah. Oh man, right. So you've been, like you say, thinking back, because you played a few gigs at some of my socials for the martial arts groups and what have you over the years. So yeah. Definitely, it's a good decade. It's a good decade.
Yeah.
I got a post the other day. I was been clearing out the flat like so many people in lockdown, and then loads of cool stuff's come up, and found a post of one of those gigs, and I think it was like 2009 or 2010 or something.
Rock and Roll Rumble. Yeah.
That's the one. That's the one. The very one.
That's a long one.
They were always good. It was, you know what I mean? It was never a bad one.
It was never a dull moment.
Whenever we play that again, people should go.
Whenever that might happen, yeah. I tell you what, we'll do at least one more in the future. Definitely, at least one more in the future. God knows when that will be.
Maybe we can go global with it.
Maybe what?
Maybe we can go global with it.
Maybe we can. Maybe we can play a virtual gig like the Wheels Lads. Yeah.
That's an idea. Yeah. But everything's virtual these days, though, isn't it? You know, but maybe we should just do door to door, like sales gigs and stuff. Knock on everyone's door and play for 5 minutes. You know?
I mean, it's difficult during lockdown.
In the world. Sorry.
Yeah. No. So I know, mate. You're right. The virtual stuff. I mean, the new millennia, everything was always a bit too polished, clinical, and digital for me in the first place. You know what I mean? And then now, literally everything is done through a fucking computer screen. It's I'm definitely can't wait for some live music, and I'm thinking that 2020 is at least as fucked up as the 70s and the 80s put together. So maybe some decent fucking music out of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Another Guns N' Roses or something would be nice. You know, another Sex Pistols, something. Apart from Ross. Oh God.
I do think that whatever's going to come out that's revolutionary is probably going to be a bit shit.
I don't know. Maybe. You mean what people jump onto? You mean?
Well, no, it's not that. It's like these days, like girls are singing about like I'm in the club, my boyfriend's trying to read me, and I don't care because I've got my legs around someone else. Fuck you, guy. And like the guys' side of the music's like, I'm so sorry that I cheated on you. You know what I mean? Like, oh please, baby, don't fucking hurt me. You know, like just. Where's the revolution going to come from that? You know, like, where's the fucking bollocks gone? You know what I mean? Like, in meaning of...
Oh, mate.
You can edit all this out.
No, don't edit all that.
It sounds very bitter, but what I'm saying, there's some fantastic fucking bands out there. Like, some new music that's coming out is fucking mind-blowing. I love it.
Yeah, but
I don't think there's, like, a new Nirvana. Or like,
there's no instinct.
You know what I mean? Like, we need something. You know, it's like it doesn't have to be new, like style or anything. It just has to be above everything else. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think it just has to kick some ass.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I honestly don't know how many people there are in the world that are actually attuned to that anymore. I don't know if there are enough people to make that financially fucking viable anymore. Anything genuine.
It's a different industry though, isn't it? It's a completely different industry, you know, like now it's like
it's fucked is what it is.
Yeah, it kind of is, you know, like you say, like wouldn't it be good if something came from such like negativity, you know, like because a lot of the greatest movements of music came from negative circumstances in life, you know, they came out like for one of a better analogy, like a bright flower out of a great fucking ground. You know what I mean? Like something like I know it stands out and it shines. You know?
Good music does come from bad times, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah, like,
I'm still waiting for fucking good music. We got the bad times. Check. Well, I was waiting for fucking music.
Well, yeah, couldn't be worse.
But you know, your band are obviously a slightly tongue-in-cheek, like love letter to the 80s, which is all good by me because that was like
absolute love letter to the 80s is perfect. So that's it.
Well, I tell you what, mate. I had to fill in a sheet the other day for an audition for an acting part, and it said, "What did the 90s mean to you?" And it was like, well, my teens and 20s, way too many drugs, and great cinema, and largely shit music, bar a few exceptions. Now, no, it's true though, right? What did you have? Right, you had a handful of great things, right? You had the Seattle scene, Nirvana, and for me, more so, Soundgarden and Alice in Chains. Fucking love those guys. Right?
That grunge scene that came out at that time, you know, it was an instant classic, this stuff. You know what I mean? It carries on. People keep listening to it today.
And on a smaller level, right, you had some other great things, like Pantera released Vulgar Display of Power, just the best, to me, probably the best album in that genre ever. Just fucking unbelievable, right? That was 92. You had Megadeth putting out Countdown to Extinction. It was the best thing they ever did, I think.
Oh, Megadeth.
Do again.
Yeah. Nice.
And then on these shows, you had the Wild Arts. So, like, to this day, just one of my favorite, my favorite band, probably, if I had to pick one. Obviously, apart from Ultrabyte, naturally, right?
Nice of you to say.
So you had that going on, and then you did get another scene that I really did love. Was like all the American punk that come out, which was like Rancid, Green Day, and The Offspring, who were fucking awesome until they decided to start writing pop songs for 9-year-olds' birthday parties.
Yeah.
Right? The first 4 albums, though, are absolutely the business. You know what I mean? Certainly everything up to Smash. And Americana had some great stuff on it as well. That's where it started to go a bit south. One after that, again, patchy, but some good bits. After that, just no.
From the 2000 on, it's all went a bit that way, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, you had Green Day releasing Dookie, you had The Offspring releasing Smash, you had Rancid releasing And Out Come the Wolves. It's like, that was pretty healthy. So I had that happen in the 90s, Seattle happened in the 90s, and then like, you know, a couple of good ones from Megadeth and Pantera on the thrash, seriously heavy side. And it's like, that was kind of it. The rest of it was the biggest pile of shite ever. And
music in the 90s is, you know, I basically ignored music in the 90s. You know what I mean? I was listening to my dad's music all from the 80s. Actually, because for me, I grew up in, you know, I was a kid during the 90s. I wasn't into the music.
Everybody had their own little mishmash in the 90s, didn't you? You could be like into fucking 60s or Hendrix or whatever, but still listen to fucking happy hardcore radio.
Fuck my life,
I think the 90s is where everything became eclectic and all styles started to merge, and there was nothing that was like, you're a fucking mod, you listen to that. You're a fucking rocker, you listen to that. I know it sounds ignorant and it sounds like counterproductive from a creative perspective, right? But like, if you were a scally back in the fucking 90s, you listened to rave and hip hop, right? If you were a mosher, you listened to metal and fucking grunge, yeah? And I know it sounds like labels and everything, but like, the thing is these days, you can't have labels. Everything's so fucking PC and everything's so mixed. So you can't define a style. You can't fucking live that style and be that one fucking style. You have to be like, I've got a little bit of this.
It's what I'm driving at. No one's got an identity anymore.
Yeah.
No one in any walk of life has an identity anymore. And what gets put out
like fucking Apple. They're all walking around looking like, or acting like something off of a Gap advert or a fucking iPad advert. You know what I mean? Everything's eclectic and funky. It's never like you just fucking you rock that shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's you.
Well, if we find something funny and amusing, it tends to go into our music.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it for us, isn't it? You know, we're not trying to be that particularly, are we? You know, I think that's what sets what we do a little bit these days apart from
what we're hoping is, being totally honest, and there's no tongue in cheek about this at all, which might even make it funny in a kind of Alan Partridge way, because I might sound like a dickhead. But what we do, I don't want people to perceive it as parody, really. It does look parody because we've gone full on 80s with the visual. But the tune, like, and the rest of the album as well, like, it's more like 80s pop rock. It's not like like Steel Panther for.
I was going to say Steel Panther.
They're like
Steel Panther.
They're brilliant. They're amazing.
I'll see
fantastic musicians and everything. I've watched them on YouTube and I think they're fucking amazing.
I've got the singer on my Instagram. We follow each other on Instagram, which is pretty cool. That was a good follow. You know what I mean? Not I mark out. So, all right, nice one. Yeah, cool. That's a good one.
So they're really cool. But it is. I think I'm not trying to shit on what they do because never. You know what I mean?
No.
We're not worthy and all that shit. But it's parody. A bit like even the Darkness, even though the Darkness wasn't as parody, obviously as Steel Panther with the lyrics and stuff they do. It's funny, isn't it? But the Darkness was subtly
I love them. I think they're a great band. Fantastic. Great music, great live.
I'm going to sound really contradicting it because what I was going to say is not really many of our lyrics are jokey, but I mean, fucking Dragon Fighter says you can be the light like Master Yoda. You know what I mean? So
the name itself, Dragon Fighter Golden Champion.
Yeah, it is kind of corny, but I don't want it to be. We haven't written it with that intent.
No,
it's just from the fucking heart.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's why it works.
It just sounded like it could have come straight off the soundtrack of The Last Dragon, which is to a compliment to me, mate. But I mean, that's the way. That's why I have in mind.
That's the vibe that we're feeling. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's it. That's the vibe that we're feeling.
Basically, it's a good-natured homage to the 80s and that vibe and everything else like that.
We let that leak into our fucking day-to-day life. We live it. We live it
in our possible. I'd fucking go back, happily. I'm going to have to buy a DeLorean and start working on it. I need to. Everything's just lost its identity and it's bollocks these days, quite frankly.
Yeah. But the 80s is very used in a lot of pop music, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still a lot of modern films. You find a lot of classic, 70s, 80s music.
There's nothing else to come out. There's nothing else to fucking use. Or your movie will suck. Your music was shit.
Yeah,
that's it. There's nothing that sets the scene like some of these older tunes from the 80s.
But I mean, it's in modern music as well. You've got bands that come out with that pop 80s feel. They've got the synth and they've got the fucking all of the structure of the music and everything sounds very. But it's still only a nod. Whereas I'm not trying to say we just think you jokingly said we're from a fucking time, we're from another time. We got a time machine.
Yeah,
but we want it to sound like it has. Yeah, it has come from the 80s, but it's new as fuck. It's new because it is. We're not copying.
We're a modern band.
Just this is the fucking song that we wrote. You know what I mean?
It's our influences. What you're hearing out of our stuff is what we're all into.
Yeah.
I know you guys. I've known you guys a long time, and I know that what you're doing is absolutely genuine and straight up, and that's why I like it. Because it stands out, and there is some cracking music going on. I mean, I've interviewed so many people on this channel that are fantastic musicians with really good stuff going on, largely in the punk sort of genre, which I love. But there's nothing apparent in the wider world at the moment, right? I haven't seen the next Metallica or Guns N' Roses coming through. Who's going to fill that? I mean, those guys will probably keep going another 10 years, but another 20 years, no. Who's going to be there then? Because I don't see anybody. I don't know.
No, I don't see replacements either. No.
Sorry?
I don't see anybody replacing them. No. Not to that caliber, anyway. It's like when you say Metallica. Wow, you can't. I'll see nothing. Like you say.
Yeah. I tell you whom I love, whom are spectacular, fucking spectacular. Who are a little bit younger than those guys that I mentioned, which is Slipknot. Now they are a world-class act. They are
renowned.
I've seen them all over the place.
One of the best performances live.
Yeah, I've seen a few of their stage shows. Yeah,
history or whatever. They're
everything though. I mean, the songwriting is there. The reality, the kudos, the reality, the vibe, the feel, the songwriting. They've got the spectacle. They've got that larger-than-life sort of.
They're basically different, and that's what makes it for them. You know,
Yeah.
to set themselves apart from what else is going on. They dare to be different.
So we're probably good for about 20 years, but sort of post Slipknot, I'm struggling. Seriously.
You know what I'm hoping, right? Like the music, you know, like the band in the cantina in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I know. You know, I'm like the world's biggest Star Wars fan. I know that.
Fucking love that shit. Like if we go, you know, if we go into like multi-species like bars in the future, there's some like weird alien dude who actually has like a body.
New Mills is pretty close. New Mills is pretty close. But
this is going out to the world. You know? Don't tell them where we're from.
I don't know. I like King of New Mills, but I don't give a damn. I like royalty. I can.
But yes, it is.
Do you know why? That's what.
You know?
No, seriously, lads. I look forward to hearing your album, and I don't know what you've done in way of the production on it, but like, while I'm slagging off everything new, what I've got to say, and I've had this conversation with a few of the other guys out here when we've been talking music, it's like, again, a lot of the records from the 70s and the 80s, loved it, because they were like, really had a raw live sound to them, even when they were super produced, like Queen, with Roy Thomas Baker and what have you. Even though that was layered and absolutely groundbreaking in terms of production, and I loved the way it sounded massive and it took you to another place and it had that element about it, but it still managed to sound really, really raw and live at the same time as being massive. Fucking love that. And then I don't mind at all, like, obviously, one of the greatest albums of all time, Hysteria. And it's probably the most produced album of all time. But it's spectacular. Takes you somewhere else, right? Or you go early AC/DC, which is raw as hell. You know, and you're hearing the fingers sliding on the strings and, you know, the odd little mistake, and love it. And it's all in there. And it sounds awesome because it's really well mixed, right?
It's one of the best production eras. The 80s is actually one of the best production eras for music.
Except for thrash.
Yeah, all right.
Right? 80s, like classic 80s rock, you're right, the production is spectacular. There are some spectacular thrash bands with fucking horrible production that come out in the 80s, and then they've remastered them all now, and you're like, oh my god, I can actually hear them.
But I think that thrash was kind of like, I remember that, like, they were trying to make it grimy, you know, like grind, like, what's the word? Chop house or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it's a bit rough cut.
I know what you mean, but it just sounded like a lot of it. The song shone through, right? Because a lot of the bands that succeeded, their music was that fucking strong. It had to be to cut through the mix, right? But, you know, having heard some of that stuff remastered in the, you know, 2000s, it's like, oh, yeah, there you go. So I'm not here, like, saying, you know, denounce. So I'm not like the Amish of the music world or anything, you know, denouncing technology. It's just you got to use it right. Because what happens to me a lot of the time now is albums are overproduced, right? To the point where it's all very clean and clinical, right? But it's not massive. It just sounds flat a lot of the time to me. And me and Danny, you and me have had this conversation about 80. Sorry?
Some of it's overproduced. Like, let's make it sound big, or let's make it sound, I think, you know, surrounding, you know, they put like groups of fucking backing vocals shouting with loads of reverb and shit, and like, oh, that's so moving and so emotional, and when you put it in on your car stereo, it sounds fucking shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, I feel like I'm in a well here listening to this.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Why are all these people like singing quietly? Well, wow, that's so moving, and let's stick fucking Back in Black on, you know, stick CD and
yeah, I'm with that.
It's real, you know.
So, whereas modern production has managed to rescue a lot of really fantastic 80s albums that were not done justice with terrible mixes from the thrash genre, largely though, like the sort of the classic rock stuff in the 70s and 80s was like easily the best stuff in terms of production. Not that there's a lot of stuff that would count as classic rock these days anyway, as we've described, but I mean, anything, it's a lot of the stuff that falls under that genre of rock. It all sounds very, very pedestrian to me. It's all the same. And, it's like production by numbers, and it's fucking boring, a lot of it.
Because nobody dares to be different anymore. They all want to be, they all sound the same.
I wouldn't mind someone coming out with, this is our first album, right? But really would love to do in the next album a level more of sort of pop, not subtlety, but like somewhere more around that subtlety area, like Toto Africa or Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Like the banging songs in a way,
well,
but the like pop songs like the smooth and the
smooth. They've got a good formula,
or the voice by John Farnham, something like that. Like it's kind of. It's got that tribal feel to it, and it's uplifting and everything.
It's got a good formula, that's the key to
it. Almost fucking Eurovision style. Do you know what I mean? Like
Eurovision.
Yeah.
I did a video for Ira Losco, who was the 2-time Maltese Eurovision entrant. There you go. What trivia quiz for you guys. So if you go for Eurovision, shout me. I've got experience.
Tell you what, right? John, I'm not joking, right? I've been feeling Eurovision. Like in the waves, like for a long time. Before that, this film that's just come out with
Will Ferrell,
and I love it. I love the song and everything. I wouldn't just stick it on the fucking MP3 or whatever. Yeah. But it's a good song, right? So where I was going with that? What I was saying was Eurovision, right? I can't deny that we potentially, as a band, have appeal for that kind of thing,
I think definitely, yeah.
Eurovision is trending. It's on its fucking way. It's gonna, you know what I mean? Eurovision.
After Brexit, do you think we've got any chance whatsoever? Fucking ever? Point in the past.
Well,
no one even fuck you. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's.
We'll come flat last.
Yeah.
Well, go for it. I would love to see you in Eurovision, even if just to be the British,
I think we'd go out there knowing we're going to come last.
Yeah. Is that not the aim? Yeah.
You can call the song Nil Pois. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh man. No, but like I said, so what have you done sort of production wise? How do you think it's sounding, your particular record?
Oh, for the Eurovision?
No. Your album.
Yeah. No, you mean like our album stuff?
Yeah. What have you gone for? Is it raw? Is it live? Is it produced?
Oh, it's very studio produced. It's produced to the hilt, but we've tried to hold back a little bit on the production side of things.
We kind
of like a Journey style sound.
Okay.
So almost sort of like live, but it's very produced. You know
still sounding a little bit gangly.
Yeah.
But not. You know what I mean? It adds that realness to it. You know what I mean? That's what sort of thing we like.
It's rock.
We produce to the hilt how things are mixed.
We've produced it like a rock song.
Yeah.
It's like a pop song that's produced like a rock song.
Yeah.
So it's got balls, like fucking Power of Love or something,
Well,
Power of Love's a good example. A very good pop song.
You know that I know this because when we play it live, because we play it as a cover, when the distortion kicks in and the keys and everything, it sounds raw.
It's got power.
It's still got that daydreamy fucking fantasy 80s feel to it, but it's right there in the fucking room, and any schmuck in any fucking setup can just play those keys and those guitar, and it will sound right. Do you know what I mean? Something. I think that's what we were going for, a little bit of accessibility. As in people can play it, sort of thing. If you overproduce it, then it's going to get that's you've
no chance of reproducing it.
No, exactly.
And we do attract quite often all of an age range, don't we? Quite age range of stuff.
Yeah,
it surprised me really.
Well, it's everything's trending now.
That's it. So I would like the thought of a younger band, some younger musicians, actually having a crack at our stuff. How cool would that be?
Yeah, they probably fucking will. You know what I mean?
I imagine you will, especially if you do Eurovision. That's be like.
Oh, mate, can you imagine?
I think we've just. I should be a life coach because I think I've just drawn out your true purpose. You know what I mean?
I'm not joking.
Road to Eurovision.
Tell you what, Eurovision, that would be some seriously hard work. Like, I'm not blind to the reality of the rock and roll sort of, industry and everything. And Eurovision's serious shit. Like, you've got to get fucking bang on for that.
You've got to be good. Like, you've got to get it right on the night.
You got to be able to play that shit standing up on your fucking head. Pissed, because that's what we'll do.
Well, that's what we'll do.
Remember along with the lines of ABBA and Bucks Fizz and mate, elevated.
We've ordered the skirts.
Oh mate, no, that.
Coming up.
I'm not sure if anyone will want to see that or not.
They fucking have to.
Poison your eyes with this.
Yeah.
It's taking a dark turn now. It's taking a dark turn. Leave that one. So no, obviously I've heard Dragon Fighter because we did the video, which was spectacular. Really, really good laugh in the old gym as well. So nice to see that on the video. Bit nostalgic for me. And yeah, everything you've said about the production kind of rings true for what I've heard on that track. So I look forward to hearing the others, the finished articles. When's it due out to the world?
Well, we haven't really set a date yet.
We're kind of like, it's a real Zen thing we've got going on. Like, when's that going to come out? Let's just do it when it feels right.
I think we're going to, I think the idea is we're going to probably drip feed a few bits and pieces out.
Yeah. We're releasing,
keep you all interested.
We are releasing consecutive songs, singles, very cheaply, so nobody's getting ripped off or anything. And then we're probably going to hold back 3 for the album.
3 or 4,
3 or 4. And I think there'll be another video, maybe 2 more videos before we get to the end of that. So, it's 3 more videos, but the next song is coming very soon.
Yeah,
and the one after that will be pretty soon. It's going to be a couple of months tops gap between each song that we release.
I think we're just taking advantage of this lockdown at the moment.
We're just like
let's just get some stuff out, feed it out, to an eventual release of the album, which we're not sure when it's going to be.
It's like as soon as we released Dragon, we were shooting the next video straight away, and we've already got the other one sort of lined up. And then there's one that we have written already that's just before the album's released. We've got a lot of fucking work going on. You know what I mean? But it's actually happening. It's not gonna happen. It's
in the process, so to speak. Yeah.
So and it's looking fucking shit out. I've got to say, very happy.
No, that's good, man. It's good to hear. I reckon you need to do a concept video along the lines of Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer. One of yours.
Hello. Is that not what we are doing? You read our fucking minds.
Pretty
well.
That's what we're doing, mate.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, we've had this discussion as well, because as well as me hating production on modern records, I fucking hate digital effects on modern films because they're thin and they're weak. And we've had this discussion. You watch the old effects on the early Indiana Jones or the early the horror movies, the Evil Dead and stuff like that. And even though they are not obviously realistic, there's something about them because they are an actual. Go on.
You were talking about this. Someone who's telling graphics in computer games and stuff. No matter how good they get, the eye recognises something that's fake. It just doesn't. It will never be fooled by fake imagery. But I think with real. Like animatronics or puppets.
Organic effects you're talking
organic, because it's organic. Your mind tells you it actually is there. Do you know what I mean? It really is real. And it kind of makes the effects more realistic, I think.
No, I totally agree with you there. It's certainly got... It just has a feel to it. It has a vibe to it that a lot of digital just can't.
We're watching Big Trouble in Little China.
We are watching Big Trouble in Little China.
I'm really loving it. You know what I mean?
I watch that daily.
Is that on a loop completely? Oh, he's gone. That's on a loop completely. Totally that one, is it? Video.
That's how.
So we on the big screen.
Sorry. And here's one.
Here's what you made earlier.
prop. It's a studio prop, ladies and gentlemen. It just came from nowhere.
Just Ribena, really, isn't it, Dan? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what I was going to do for this, right? I was going to put my wood burner, like, burning, and then we were going to point the camera
totally
in.
overthought this.
Yeah, like, I was thinking, like, I might say to John, you know, we don't often do online interviews, but when we do,
they're the best online interviews.
I was surprised you're not going to full on Spinal Tap and rocked out the smoking jackets and the pipe.
Oh, he's just gone one step further now.
A bit smoking.
Yeah.
Actually, every jacket I wear, I smoke.
Oh man, that film's just incredible. That's one of the best films I've ever seen in my life. It's just, yeah.
It's good, isn't it?
That and Big Trouble in Little China maybe tied the best film ever. Tied between the two.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Have you had any personal Spinal Tap moments then?
We live Spinal Tap.
I mean, dude, you just like, I'm not joking.
That's a big subject.
I know this is Spinal Tap, but you don't even know.
If you could take a look around this room, man, you've got Danny here. There's this rocker from a band, you know, and all his vintage furniture. You explain that. You explain that. This man's vintage
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about present company.
Well, there is that, yeah.
And
Well, if your Eurovision doesn't work out, maybe you could go for like, you know, a rock opera, you know, along Nigel Tufnell's Saucy Jack idea from the movies, you know, rock opera around Jack the Ripper or something like that. Something, you know, that could, if Eurovision isn't going to be your thing, maybe that's an avenue you need to explore. You know what I mean?
yeah, there's so much you can do.
Yeah, it's all that.
John wants to write a rock opera.
We'll have to write a rock opera.
Yeah.
Write a rock opera.
Well, you know what? Like, I have thought maybe an album like me and Simon will conceptual album ideas,
like these concepts and that.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it in Dragon anyway. You know, like, I know that's not a conceptual album piece, but like it could very easily be sort of.
Well, one of our previous bands, one of our previous acts, we did a conceptual thing.
Yeah,
we did.
When we were Rising Tides, we did like a story in the album. We had like characters with voices and like all the Foley shit going on. You know, like because it was about big bass, so we had like engine noises and lasers and fucking everything, right? You know, like. And we had little characters called the Tidies, you know, like, we were in the Rising Tide, and they were like, hey, you know, like driving cars and shit. You know, we were really.
We went a bit mad with that one.
So rock opera does not.
You're more than halfway there.
You know what I mean?
You're more than halfway there, man. You're more than halfway there.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, I can show you that. That one's going to get lost in history. Yeah.
I did see this. So, obviously, lockdown permitting, and your album, you've explained, sort of drip releasing that, and what any other sort of future plans then? Rock opera, Eurovision. This question of getting back.
Future plans.
Well, unfortunately, as far as live performances are concerned, us and most of the bands in the country are all in the same boat. So basically, all we can do at the minute is keep on the internet.
I want to
releasing stuff, virtually. You know,
I want to hit Manchester really fucking hard. I want to play. I know, like,
this is
I want to play like every city in England, and we have played a few in, you know, here and there and stuff in other bands and that. But like, this brings me back to like what we were saying before about revolutionary, you know, like sort of a scene or whatever. Even if it's not Manchester, even if it's fucking like Leeds or whatever, I just want to like get a notable, like a reputation. That's because we want a gig. That's it, you know. Like, and the thing is now, people are dying for gigs. You know,
like, crying out for gigs.
Like, they need it. Like
the second we can do it, we're like, you know.
It's, you know, we put a gig up in it, and it fucking sold out in a day, right? And then they were like, you've got to move that because the date's been moved.
Yeah.
So we changed the date, and the fucking gig sold out immediately again. You know, and now we're waiting for. And I just think like, let's hit that shit. You know, let's get into the city and fucking make a big stir.
Yeah.
Do something wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, people will know.
Well, no, not these again.
Bad publicity is good publicity.
Oh,
absolutely.
Publicity.
Yeah.
People are talking about you, mate, you know.
That's, yeah, doesn't matter what they're saying as long as they're talking about you.
Exactly. Isn't that what it's all about?
I think so.
Yes.
Well, to be honest, we've sort of gone through everything I had in mind to chat about. Is there anything in particular that you want to discuss or mention, or you know, we talked about your influences, we talked about production, we talked about how shit modern music and pretty much everything is.
Can I just draw back there? Did I say good publicity is bad? I meant to say bad publicity is good publicity. Shit, you're gonna have to cut that fucker out.
No, it's fine.
What I just said there. Okay. I could just tell you what.
Just stick all his outtakes on loop somewhere.
Please, can I direct your video? Sorry, I'm really sorry, John.
No, don't be daft, man.
I won't have to get me. You've seen it though, like John being on Dragon Fighter, saw me trying to get my hands into everything, you know. Like, I want to direct the way you move your camera boom.
You open your eyes wrong.
Yes. Please face the other way.
Shut them more slowly.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. To be honest, most people I know that are successful, whatever they do, are absolute perfectionists that want to be involved and oversee.
I think what the word you're looking for is cunts. No, I'm not saying I'm a cunt.
No, don't be. It's fine.
Mint, mate.
I think, like I say, guys, I think we've covered pretty much everything here. So basically, you are the only hope for modern music. For
writing, not be
you need to provide that opera, mate, because you know Jim Steinman does quite nicely off of it to this day. I think that's still a fairly open market, really. I mean, yeah. But
we'll see what the future brings.
I'm just waiting to order it. No, sorry, but I'm speaking in backwards. I'm pissed now, right? we are just waiting to execute order 66 on the music industry.
Yes. Oh, fuck, do it sooner rather than later, please.
Yes. Oh, no, man. I know, but like I say, the second we can, we're on it. You know,
yeah.
It's got to be done.
Oh, mate, it's yeah. I'm all lost for words, those fuckers. To be honest, it's like if I was ever going to go postal, you know what I mean?
Now's the time to do it.
Oh, John, mate. Right, if you ever do go postal, please.
Yeah. Shall I take a request?
I want to see that shit. You know what I mean? I'll be like, I'm gonna get the Black Magic camera, set it on the tripod. This is gonna be something special. You know,
we'll write something to it.
Yeah.
Right, write a song about it. Yeah, that's
so we'll film you go postal. We'll write a song to it. That's what we'll do. Yeah, that's it.
Nice. That sounds good. I need a theme tune. You know.
That's it. Yeah.
We're gonna have a theme tune to the apocalypse, haven't we? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Theme tune to the apocalypse.
That's an idea.
See, anything we say here, John, it's just legendary.
Right.
You asked earlier about how spinal tap we were, you know.
I've had a few fucking spinal tap moments in the fight game, mate. It's a weird one. There's a lot of similarities. We've talked about this.
The butlers.
You are sorry?
The butlers, everyday spinal tap.
Oh, mate. Fucking hell.
But honestly,
I've had the can't find the stage thing. That's always a good one. Yeah, can't find the stage. Like that sucked. Well, yeah, and other than that, just the general ropiness of some of the venue and the weirdness and the surrealness of some of the venues where you end up like competing.
you did steal another band's beer once.
What?
We did steal another band's beer once.
Yeah,
just saying.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't like that. It was like right. This is what we did. Right. Sorry. Before we go, right. This is what we did. We were twats. Right. I'm not proud of this, but it happened. We fucking went into their dressing room while they were playing, and we took crates of their fucking lager and cider or whatever it was. We fucking drank it, and that. Loads of bands do that kind of shit, and they're dicks when when they're drunk or whatever. But just to make it even worse, because they were a covers band, we went up to them. Well, I went up to one of them.
Well, they started it. That's fair.
They started
it. I'll get that true right now. They started it.
But we had drank their beer.
We did drink their beer. That's after they started it.
Yeah.
After they started.
We went up to them. And we said, the royal we said, if you're gonna have a problem with me, at least play your own fucking music. So Si's putting me in the fucking transit van, sitting me on a chair in the middle of the fucking van and saying, stay there. Alex is in the fucking kitchen stealing champagne and fucking getting searched by the bouncers on the way out with fucking champagne under his coat.
That was an interesting evening. That's probably the most Spinal Tap we ever made.
I know none of this is going online. I know it's not.
All of it's going out, Daddy. All of it. It's the rock and roll. Mate, I don't get shit like this anymore, because anyone I speak to this in modern music is some non-binary vegan fucking.
Okay, right. Okay. This is a bit once at band camp, but we have to tell this one story before we go.
Please.
Okay, so we're going down the motorway, like in the back of a big fucking transit van, throwing like fucking symbols around at our heads and shit, because every fucking bump, that kind of thing. And it pulls over, and like, why is it pulled over? And the cops.
We were pulled by the cops,
and his fucking phone goes off. We're not supposed to be in the back.
We're in the back, and we're hiding behind the amps. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So his phone goes off, and it's Peter Griffin from Family Guy saying, "We need some drugs. Has anybody got any drugs?"
Coppers there shining torch in the van.
But they just fucking.
We got away with it.
But that wasn't that. That was just the beginning. We got away with that. So we drove on. Alright, and we're all dying for a piss and like, go to the nearest. This is a true fucking story, man. Go to the nearest fucking town.
Just pull over.
We don't care where all of us are pissed.
We need
dying for a piss, full of beer, and we're like, go to the nearest town, pull over. Don't care where we are. And he pulls over and we open that fucking van like the 18. We all jump out and we're fucking just pissing straight away.
Yeah, that's it.
On a fucking street sign. It's like the road sign of the street, right? We didn't even realise, right? And we look ahead, and there's a big fucking window, and there's guys sat having cups of tea and shit, looking at us pissing on this fucking road sign. Do you know where it was?
What?
Directly
in front of the police station.
The fucking police station.
Hello!
So we were just like that. And then we finished.
We finished, man.
We jumped in that fucking van and we got off quick. But we never got
the doorstep of the local police station.
That was insane. Yeah, we didn't get stopped or fuck all.
That was unreal.
I like that. See, that's the kind of rock and roll story. It's just totally missing these days,
No.
Next thing, my mate got pulled over by Line Park Benz, right? Doing like 34 and a 30. And this copper pulled him over. And this is the best line I've ever heard. And the copper says to him, I said, excuse me, sir, do you know why I've pulled you over? He goes, is it because you were bullied at school? I mean, he got fined to fuck for like 4 miles off the speed limit, but it was worth it. It's not worth it, you know what I mean? Yeah. But like pissing up in front of that police station, it's worth it, mate. Worth it. It only lasts a lifetime.
But that was that we had no idea until the security lights came on that we were in front of the police station.
You'd have got an ASBO for it. It's fine, Yeah.
Yeah, we missed out the detail harking back to fucking Steel Panther, we were wearing fucking spandex and wigs and
Full on
shit.
spandex,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that was what Rising Tides was like that, and that's what we were wearing. And
Tiger Stripe this, and you know, it was great.
Oh, man. Do you know what? That might be why they didn't arrest us. They probably thought that was quite impressive. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to let them go for that shit. You know?
You couldn't ignore us back then.
Conspicuous then, just altogether conspicuous, yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
The image will be burned into their head for the rest of their lives.
Probably will.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, lads, I can't say it's ever topping that story, really. Maybe we can come on again when we've actually got back to the real world and touring, and you've got some more rock and roll debauchery.
We need to get out there and do some crazy shit.
Right, well, don't jump off straight away, lads. I'll wrap up afterwards, but I will bring the recording to an end. So, Danny, Si, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for coming on, lads. Cheers.
Yeah.